Ever since I've endorsed the low-carb eating lifestyle, things have changed for me in a positive way. But it has also given me the challenge to create new recipes that do not involve starch, gluten or grains. I'm an Indian and I've always eaten rice. I've always eaten rice with pickles and curries, and suddenly I found myself realizing that rice is no longer an option. And so I make my alternative to rice, which has nothing to do with rice, but just one healthy ingredient that is super high in vitamin C and a lot of other phytonutrients. And that ingredient is a cauliflower. Today, we're going to make cauliflower rice using cauliflower head and also a couple of other nutritious ingredients. And we'll make such an awesome alternative to rice that you will be super happy that you started to cook cauliflower rice as opposed to the starchy white rice. So if you want to find out how I make it, stick with me and we'll get cooking together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the cauliflower into little florets and I'm going to put them into the blender. So after they've reached a grainy consistency, I just stop there, and then I'm going to cut the bell pepper and the carrots into really small pieces, and then that's it. Let the party begin. I usually put them in batches because if you put too many of these florets, then it's not going to really work properly. So the ginger garlic paste has been sauteing for a minute and it's reached a light brown color, and that's exactly where we want to stop. We don't want to burn it up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next step, which is to add the cauliflower rice into this mixture. And then I'm just going to give it a thorough mix so that the ginger garlic paste is mixing well with the cauliflower rice. So I let the cauliflower and the ginger garlic paste mix in well, and at this stage I'm going to add in a little bit of salt. It's very important to add salt at this stage because cauliflower usually has a lot of water, and when you add a little bit of salt, it releases the water. And so I just keep stirring it time to time, and I just let it saute for a bit until all the flavors of the ginger garlic paste and the cauliflower are released. And time to time you can keep checking to see if this is the consistency you want when you have it, when you put it into your mouth. And it's coming out so well. I can really smell the lovely flavor of all the three ingredients together, and it's really making me hungry now. So there's one thing I want you to remember, that you're not supposed to add in too much salt at this stage, because if the rice gets too salty, then it's not a good thing. You can always add things like salt and pepper at the end, depending on the taste that you would prefer. So the cauliflower has been sauteing for the last 10 minutes. You know that it's almost reaching the end point when the cauliflower has become translucent, and also when you taste it, it does not have the raw taste anymore. And so I'm going to now transfer the cauliflower into the bowl, and I'm going to move on to the next step. So we moved on to the next stage, which is adding a teaspoon of ghee into the skillet again, and then I'm going to saute the capsicum and the carrots mixture that I've cut and put. It's important to note that you're not supposed to saute both the cauliflower and the vegetables together at the same time, because both of them have a different range of temperature at which they get cooked, and it's better to always cook them separately and mix them together at the end. Okay, so the ghee has come to a heating point, and now I'm just going to add in the carrots and the capsicum, and I'm just going to let it saute for a few minutes. So there is one thing I would like you to take note of, which is I've added a little bit of ghee to saute these vegetables, but I've not added ginger garlic paste anymore. We've already added ginger garlic paste into the cauliflower mix, but if you add it another time, then the strength of this ginger garlic paste is going to be so overpowering that it's not really going to be very nice anymore. So I usually tend to leave it with the cauliflower mixture and not add any more here. So the vegetables have been sauteing for a few minutes and they've become softer. But the carrots still have a little bit of crunchiness, and that's exactly how I like it. I like a little bit of crunchy bits in my rice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a big bowl and we're just going to mix in both the cauliflower and the carrots together. So let's get going with that. So all I'm doing now is I'm mixing 2 teaspoons of the cauliflower rice, and then I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of the vegetables. This makes it easier for me to mix because then I don't have a whole bunch of 2 layers to mix together. Instead, I'm just doing it in batches. So I've mixed the rice together with the vegetables and it's come out really well. And all you have to do is now just taste it and see if it's really tasty. This is so delicious. So now I'm going to add in a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric is really healthy because it's very high in antioxidants, and just to add a little bit of turmeric into your rice is going to be really good for you. And then I'm going to add in a little more salt at this stage because now I know how much salt I will really want to have in my rice. So a little bit of salt, give it a good mix. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of pepper. So that was it. This is my cauliflower rice recipe. This is actually the base form that you can have, but you can add in a lot more ingredients than these to make it more special. You can, for example, add scrambled egg to make it egg rice. You can add chicken bits to give it a nice flavor. And also you can add rice vinegar and soy sauce in it to give it that oriental flavor. So there are so many things that you can do with this, and the best part of this rice is that it's so healthy, and nothing can beat something that is healthy, right? Well, actually I'm feeling a little experimental. I actually want to add in a little bit of rice vinegar because I have some with me. So you can just add a few drops of rice vinegar and wow, the flavor is going to be awesome. So everything is done and this is how my rice looks. Beautiful, bright and orange in color, and it tastes super delicious. I really hope that you try this recipe because it's so healthy and full of nutrients, and it's got 0 starch and 0 gluten. So guys, I hope you like my recipe and I look forward to seeing you in another one soon. So that was my healthy cauliflower rice recipe. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and please do consider subscribing to my channel because I'm going to come up with many more ideas like these in the future. And until the next video, take care and see you soon. Bye bye.